Okay, I've got another review for you, and this is for the brand new Moon Knight TV show that's going to be on Disney Plus starting on March 30th. Let's take a look at that. I've seen the first 4 episodes of Moon Knight, and what I can tell you is that this is a very unique Marvel show. It doesn't feel like any other show because we've got a character, Mark Spector and Stephen Grant, both played by the phenomenal Oscar Isaac. And there are 2 completely separate identities. He's got a dissociative identity disorder. This is a character with a mental illness. And so he's constantly having conversations with himself. And it's done expertly. It's done incredibly creepily as well, but also with a great deal of sensitivity. And it is just so riveting to watch. And the show starts with one of the strongest pilots, well, in Marvel history so far in terms of their television output, but in general that I've seen. It's just shocking, some of the stuff that's going on, because Stephen Grant, who is this museum gift store employee with a profound knowledge of Egyptian history, keeps waking up in these weird situations with blood all over his face and a gun in his hand, and he doesn't know what's going on. And of course what's happening is that when he blacks out and is unconscious, Spectre takes over, and Spectre is this kind of mercenary, this American mercenary. And that's the other thing. Stephen Grant is a British guy, and Mark Spector is an American soldier. And so the disconnect and the disparity between these 2 performances is astounding. But it's really a mind trip when you're watching the show, because Oscar Isaac is flipping between these identities and there's realities. But it starts off with the onion being peeled back just a little bit from Stephen Grant's perspective, and it's terrifying. I mean, you're in his head and you're thinking, holy crap, what would it be like to not know what is happening every time you go to sleep? That's why he chains himself to his bed, and he keeps waking up with these weird nightmares and visions and things. And you know, slowly but surely over the course of the first 4 episodes, there's like true mental breakdown moments, you know, where the fantasy world around him and this supernatural world that's careening around him as a part of the Moon Knight lore interjects into his reality, and he cannot contend with it. You feel such empathy watching this character just break down because he just cannot compute. All of these weird things start happening to him. And of course, over the course of the run of the show, and I've seen most of the episodes, little bits and pieces of information start sort of clicking into place, and there's a little bit of, you know, figuring out how to deal and contend with the challenges that these characters are faced with. And I'm trying not to spoil too much. What I will say is that Ethan Hawke is a tremendous villain as Arthur Harrow, and a great deal because he's such a quiet, powerful individual. He's not a forceful, he's not like trying to be more manic than our lead, than our superhero, because our superhero has these mental illness issues. And so Arthur Harrow looks kind of sane and measured and educated, and has a sort of a place of knowing what Oscar Isaac's characters are going through. You're like, why wouldn't he just listen to this guy? You know, you kind of side with the villain's viewpoint a little bit. But there is this whole other meta plot that's happening about the Egyptian mythology tied into the storytelling, and that's where Moon Knight gets all of his powers, through these Egyptian gods and stuff. And it's really, really freaking cool. And it also stands completely separate from all of the other MCU stuff that's out there. And the effects and the combat sequences are really damn good. You know, every actor and every character is solid in this. I love the Moon Knight costume too. That's one of the things that I really responded to, because I didn't read too much of the Moon Knight stuff when I was younger. I've only read a few of the books over the years. It's a very cool character, you know, obviously crafted with as sort of an answer to DC Comics Batman character. He's sort of this, you know, works at night vigilante, but because he's so unique psychologically, it's just a thrilling thing to watch. So I haven't watched the entire season, but I was left on such a crazy cliffhanger in that 4th episode. It's like I was I went to watch the next one and it wasn't there because Disney was still, and Marvel are still putting all of the episodes together when they let critics watch the first 4 episodes. Thank you, Disney. But I was like, no, I want to see how this ends. This is crazy. So now they're going to dole them out every week starting on March 30th, and I'll be watching right alongside you guys. I actually, 2 of the episodes that I watched didn't have all of the finished elements in it, but they were still amazing. I mean, this is really next level Marvel stuff, and it's tipping to that supernatural kind of space that we're going to see in the MCU, where Blade is going to show up, and Werewolf by Night, and probably Ghost Rider and some of the other characters. This is sort of leaning in that direction and giving us a taste of the future there. Moon Knight is very special, you guys. That's what I can absolutely say. I haven't seen everything, but what I've seen so far, I freaking love it. 9 out of 10 so far, and I'm along for this ride big time.